Okay, the two coworkers that you have as your support system, are they pretty good people that you talk to on a regular basis, and you feel like they're gonna be a good encouragement for you?
I am. I'm encouragement for them, on other issues that they have in their life, because I've been through some things they haven't. Stuff they're going through, I've already been through. Okay. So they often ask me for advice for some of the situations that they go through, and I offer it to them. And then with all three of us being smokers, we hang out and everything. I told them I have a personal goal to quit.
Okay.
And they said, I'm going to quit with you. Well, one of them said, I'm going to quit with you. And then the other one's like, you know what, I'm going to quit with y'all.
That's awesome.
All three of us are trying to quit together as a whole. Okay. And I think we will be supporting one another. Because we all have a like situation. We do not smoke when we rarely smoke whenever we're off work.
Okay.
Whenever we're at work, that's when, usually the stress is on. Mm-hmm. However, between the three of us, I'm sure there's a lot of ideas that come up with that we can do within 15 minutes or 30 minutes when we're, on break. So I think we'll be all right.
So it seems like you have it all set up on how you want to do this. Give me just one moment, please. Let's talk about a SMART goal. A SMART goal is a specific, measurable, attainable, realistic time frame goal that you are going to actually give yourself a sense of urgency in order to get this done. Because if you say, hey, I want to stop quitting tomorrow, but let's just say you've been smoking a pack of cigarettes every single day. Well, that's not really realistic. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. I'm going to give you a little bit of homework to start a SMART goal. This SMART goal will give you a specific goal, and that could be to cut the number of cigarettes, but it's like you just want to completely stop. Sometimes that can be a bit of a challenge. You can find yourself being overwhelmed because you're like, I want to stop smoking cigarettes, so I'm going to just quit cold turkey. You may find yourself hiding and smoking cigarettes because you don't want to see yourself or anyone to see you fail. So starting cutting back a little bit, okay? And then make sure it's realistic to you. Mm-hmm. You have to give it a specific time frame. If you say, I'm going to stop smoking, I want to commit to stop smoking 3 months from now, okay? You got to give yourself a time frame. You want to make it realistic. Write it down. Put it on paper so you can see yourself read what you write. And sometimes you need that self-reflection to do that. We can start that as early as today. If you feel like you have that specific goal in mind, we can start that homework. And then in the next session that you come and see me, we can talk about the challenges that you face, because no one changes overnight. Okay? Everybody is a work in progress, and none of us are perfect.
Right.
But in order for you to overcome smoking cigarettes, you've got to take those necessary steps in order to get better. And that's wonderful that you have a support system already with coworkers who are already wanting to quit with you. As well as having a loving family that wants you and supports you to quit smoking as well. And also having someone to relate to who's also been through the struggle just like you have, who has began to stop smoking. So those are excellent things to start doing. Do you have any other questions for me or anything like that? Any other kind of tips or advice that you think could probably help you with smoking, or any referrals that you would like, maybe support groups for Smokers Anonymous or something like that? I can provide you those resources.
Well, Smokers Anonymous is more for people who are, because this is what I want to know. Is smoking an addiction or just something to help satisfy you for? Because I'm trying to word it correctly, as far as like where you like to smoke, but you don't care to have it, mm-hmm. but you want to have it. So do you know what I'm saying, dude?
Smoking can definitely be an addiction. If you find yourself smoking a cigarette just because you see other people smoking a cigarette, not because you necessarily want to, absolutely. And it is something that definitely can be a struggle to quit. I mean, it is something that is very addictive. Nicotine is very addictive for people. I read somewhere in an article that when they started the e-cigarettes, that they did a poll on teenagers under the age of 18. There were more smokers that tried the e-cigarette that had never smoked a cigarette a day in their life just because it was something that was cool and that was marketed. And now because they figure it's not a cigarette, oh, I'm safe, I can use this. And so a lot of them find themselves addicted to e-cigarettes, you know. But I definitely think that by starting your SMART goal and getting some resources to support groups, you definitely could save money, because on average, how many cigarettes do you think you smoke, or packs do you think you smoke a week?
Probably 4.
4 packs a week, and how much would you say?
They're $6.44 a pack.
Ooh, so almost about $28 a week.
Yeah.
I saw you pause there for a moment. What went through your mind when you thought about that?
$28 a week. That's almost a full tank of gas, especially with the gas prices right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of money.
Over $100 a month.
Yeah.
Get capable with that.
Very true.
So that's something you could also include in your SMART goal as far as saving money. There's a lot of advantages to stopping smoking. You talked about increasing your health, increasing the health around people around you. You know, they wouldn't have to endure a secondhand smoke. And then also the finances, I would think, would be the biggest thing for me. But ultimately, this is about you and your desire to want to quit, to make a better you. The idea is to not just treat your addiction or to treat your issue, is to treat you as a whole and take a holistic view at the whole situation. Start drawing down things that you like to do. These are things that can keep your mind preoccupied so that you're not thinking about smoking. Sometimes when we have a lot of idle time on our hands, it's like, I don't have anything to do. Let me smoke a cigarette. Have you ever found yourself in a situation like that? Not even wanting to, but just because you saw the pack there and you saw a lighter there, oh, what the hey, I'll just have a smoke.
But see, my mind isn't like that now.
Okay.
So where, I don't, just find myself bored, let me go smoke. I'm trying to do more to occupy my time.
Okay.
Keep busy.
Yes. Well, those are some things that you could begin to write down. Some things that keep your mind preoccupied. Do you like to work out? Okay.
Yes.
Start writing down some times that you could work out. Times around your schedule that will work for you to slip in some more workout time. And start writing down the times of the day when you smoke cigarettes. When are your triggers the highest? When do you often crave that cigarette? Those are important things to write down so that you know in these time frames, these are when I need something to do. I need to be chewing gum during this time. Constantly think of things that'll keep your mind off of it. And if you make this a habit every day, you may just forget. You may go the whole day, you may have worked out, chewed gum, had a conversation with a friend, and it's almost 12 o'clock at night, and you think to yourself, wow, I haven't smoked a cigarette today.
Well, let me ask you this. What does it mean when I'm walking out of the gym and I immediately light up a cigarette? Because my adrenaline's still pumping, I'm hyped, everything. But I'll light up a cigarette for the ride home. That
would be one thing that you need to write down. What could you do in place of smoking that cigarette? When you know that that's a trigger for you, when you leave the gym, have a pack of gum ready for you. As soon as you walk out of the door, pop some gum. Put some gum in your mouth as soon as you leave. Keep your mouth entertained so that when you're driving, maybe make a phone call. Have something to keep your mind preoccupied other than smoking that cigarette.
Good advice.
Absolutely.
Man, I'll definitely take that on. But that is one thing that bothers me. I'm walking out of the gym, at the pocket, lighting up.
Absolutely. So those will be the things that you'll need to write down. When those times when you feel those urges are at the peak at that time, those are the times we need to figure out what else you could be doing in that time frame. Those are some things that we'll look at. And like I said, this is all about you. And I think that it is wonderful that you want to quit smoking and that you've recognized and identified that that's an issue for you. And acknowledging that is the first step in getting better. So understand also it's not an overnight process. Okay. Sometimes when we want things to change in our lives, we want it to happen right now. And it's like, if it doesn't happen right away, I don't feel like I'm a success. I feel like I failed. But understand these things take time and they have steps to the progress. That's why it's important to have your SMART goal and set smaller goals. Okay. If your first goal is to limit the amount of cigarettes that you smoke. If you're smoking, you said about 4 packs of cigarettes a week. Okay. And maybe cutting that down to maybe a half a pack, okay, every so often. Or to cut that down to 2 packs a week. That's progress. It's not the ultimate goal, but it's making small strides to that progress.
Right.